Hello friends, today we will start with the criticism of the law. Which law? Law of diminishing marginal utility. Yesterday or in the previous lecture, I explained you about the law of diminishing marginal utility with its exceptions. So now today we will see the criticism of the law. See, the law of diminishing marginal utility is criticized on the following grounds. There are so many criticism of this law, but still it has been significant also because for the study or for the basic thing that is utility is measured in cardinally. That is the main assumptions or that is the main point of the criticism. But still this law has been studied and it is accepted universally. The very first criticism, as we say, is unrealistic assumptions. The law of diminishing marginal utility is based upon various assumptions like homogeneity, continuity, constancy, rationality, etc. But in reality, it is difficult to fulfill all these conditions at a point of time. See, at any point of time, we cannot say a product is homogeneous in each and every aspect. That means is size, shape, and all these things. So for example, if I take a mango as an example, if I consume 5 to 6 mangoes, we cannot say that each and every mango is same in taste, same in size, same in color. So therefore this is the very first assumption which is unrealistic assumption and very first criticism. Now, the second one is cardinal measurement. The law assumes that utility can be expressed cardinally, so it can be added, compared, and presented through a schedule. In reality, cardinal measurement of utility is not possible because utility is a psychological concept. We already seen that in the concepts of utility or features of utility, that utility differs from person to person and therefore it is very difficult to express it in a cardinally, or it can be measured in terms of numbers. So therefore this is the second criticism. Third one is indivisible goods. If this law is not applicable to indivisible goods or bulky goods like a refrigerator, car, TV sets, etc., that means all these the examples which are given here, we cannot consume it in a continuous way. कैन वी डू कि आज एक टीवी खरीदा कल भी दूसरा खरीदेंगे या परसों तीसरा खरीदेंगे? नो, दिस कैन नॉट बी पॉसिबल इवन इफ we cannot divide that TV or refrigerator into small parts for the consumption purpose. Therefore, this is the third criticism of the law. The next one is constant marginal utility of money. The law assumes that MU of each unit of money remains constant. That means money का जो value है वो always constant होना चाहिए. This is the very much criticism regarding this, that critics argue that MU of money differs from person to person. Again, this is the same thing. If a poor person has more utility of the money rather than the rich, because for example if I here I can say one example, जो 10 रुपए का वैल्यू जो पुअर को है, क्या वही 10 रुपए का वैल्यू रिच को होगा? नहीं. दैट इज द थिंग, दैट्स व्हाई constant marginal utility of money, this one is been criticized. Then the last one is single want. The law is restricted to the satisfaction of a single want at a point of time. Already we have seen that for the study of this law, the consumer has to consume only a single commodity in a continuous way. That means again a single want has been satisfied, which is also the point of the criticism. I think all of you are cleared about the critics of the law or criticism of the law. But still beyond this criticism, there is a significance of the law. That law of diminishing marginal utility is very popular and an important law in economy because of its universal application. As I already said that it is universally accepted along with its criticism. The very first significance is this law creates awareness among the consumers. Why awareness? To obtain maximum utility from the limited resources or limited whatever given here, limited resources. It is necessary to diversify the consumption. That means a consumer is having a limited resources, but he still has to satisfy maximum, or he want the maximum satisfaction from the consumption of the single bond. This law is applicable. The second one is useful to the government. The law is useful to the government in framing various policies such as progressive tax policy, trade policy, pricing policy, etc. According to this concept or according to this law, one can easily get if the additional unit is added to the stock, whatever we have, what is the effect on that on the marginal utilities. So, therefore, it is very much useful for the government in framing the policies or in the framing tax policy, trade policy, etc. The third point is basis of paradox of value. What is meant by paradox of value? It is given here. It includes goods that have more value in use and zero or less value in exchange, such as air, water, sunshine, etc. See, all these are the air, water, sunshine. ये जो चीजें हैं, we are using this without any payment of this. हम लोगों ने इतना एयर यूज किया तो उसका इतना पैसा देना पड़ेगा. कैन इट बी पॉसिबल? नो, because we are continuously breathing our air, and that's why air cannot be chargeable. अब पानी तो आप बोलोगे हम लोग तो पानी का बिल भरते हैं. Yes, I know that, but water is easily available on the earth, and we therefore it is called as these are the goods we have, goods that have more value in exchange and less value in use. इसका और एक एग्जाम्पल यहाँ पे अदर दिया है, जस्ट लाइक गोल्ड, डायमंड एक्सेट्रा. इसका जो वैल्यू है, सी गोल्ड, डायमंड, दे आर वेरी मच एक्सपेंसिव. They are affordable by only few persons of the, or we can say few people. Not each and every people can afford gold and diamond, etc. Therefore, these goods have more value in exchange than more value in use. But air, water, sunshine, they have more value in use other than more value in exchange. And therefore, this law is very much useful for basis of paradox. इसका basic क्या है वो जानने के लिए ये law बहुत ज़रूरी है. Then the basis of law of demand. The law of demand is based on the law of diminishing marginal utility. In the very next chapter, we have to see the demand analysis. In that case, law of demand is also there. That will be studied in detail in the next chapter. But here what is given, this the law of demand, इसके लिए जो बेस तैयार किया है वो लॉ ऑफ डीएमयू ने तैयार किया हुआ है. That that quantity demanded of a good rises with a fall in price and falls with an increase in price. The law of demand says that whenever there is a increase in price, the demand for that goods will become less, and vice versa. So when a consumer purchases more and more units of a good, its marginal utility steadily declines. Hence, he would buy additional unit of commodity only at a lower price. So these are the significance of the law. So beyond the exceptions or beyond the criticism, this law is useful or significant. Okay, I think all of you getting clear about this. Now, I will start with the last topic, that is relationship between the marginal utility and price. See what they are saying, that mu is related to price. It is illustrated by an schedule. That schedule is important. See the table. Number of units 1, number of units of X. That means number of units of X commodity is 10, and mu in terms of unit. That means unit price of X commodity is rupees 10. When a person is having 1 unit of X, mu of X will 10, and therefore mu in terms of unit will be 10 into 10, that is rupees 100. And market price क्या है X का? That is rupees 50. That means 100 mu is greater than rupees 50. At the time of second unit of consumption, mu will become 80, because mu decreases. It becomes 8. 8 into 10 will become 80, and the market price is 50. Still the mu is greater than the market price. Up to the third unit also it is greater. At the fourth unit of the consumption, mu it becomes 5, and mu is equal to the market price. This is known as the consumer's equilibrium, where marginal utility becomes equal with the market price, that is marginal unit. Okay, relationship between marginal unit and the marginal utility and price is it's explained in the paragraph. The first point, what is say, it units which a consumer willingly buys because mu is greater than price are called intra marginal units. सी अनलेस एंड अनटिल जब तक MU ज़्यादा है तब तक वो कंज्यूमर खरीदता रहेगा. Why? Because he will have that much of the satisfaction with him. But when it reaches consumer's equilibrium, below that he will not ready to purchase, because now its MU will become decreased. That means it will less than the market price. Unit at which MU becomes equal with the market price is equal to consumer's equilibrium. Units which a rational consumer is not willing to buy and consume, where he has to pay more than the MU, are called extra marginal units. That means beyond the consumer's equilibrium, he has to suffer a loss, or he has suffer a dissatisfaction, where in terms it says that MU is less than the market price. Therefore, this relation is known as relationship between the marginal utility and price. So I think all of you are getting this. This is the very easiest one, and I think this chapter has been over here. The exercise, I think exercise you can do it on your own. It's very simple, question and answers are given here, and answer in detail, only one answer in detail, that is state and explain the law of diminishing marginal utility with its exceptions, that I already explained you. If you have any question or any doubt regarding the exercise, you just drop a comment in the comment section so that I can clear your doubts. Okay, so I think today I will end this lecture with this. So from tomorrow onwards, or maybe in the next lecture, we will start with our third chapter, that is demand analysis. Till then, bye, take care, stay home, stay safe, and please like and subscribe my channel. Bye.